All right, guys. I think this is going to be the end of these updates because they came to a decision. So let's take a look. It turns out that the result of the dispute involving Billy Mitchell's high scores, you know, the quote-unquote first professional gamer, as he's been called, the dispute has come to a decision. After many months of researching, Twin Galaxies administration has determined the dispute made by Jeremy Young to be accepted. Alongside this, all of Billy Mitchell's scores have been removed from Twin Galaxies leaderboards. This is kind of surprising. Some people, you know, they watch the videos I do on this and they leave a nice comment. Some people say, hey, I don't care. But however you feel, this is kind of important because this goes to show that, you know, these gaming legends from back in the 80s, when it was really hard to check whether they were telling the truth or not about their scores, how many more have cheated? We don't know, but let's take a look at the article. Let's get this done here. When a dispute for one of the most prolific players out there hits, it's hard not to take notice. Sure, these sort of things come up as players try to prove their run on any particular game is legitimate. But when a long-standing score on Donkey Kong of 1,062,800 points from Billy Mitchell was put into question, it took an extensive research period from those at Twin Galaxies. After many months of debate, testing, and dredging up technology from what was reported to be used during that time, a decision has finally been made. The official statement from Twin Galaxies reads, based on the complete body of evidence presented in this official dispute thread, Twin Galaxies administrative staff has unanimously decided to remove all of Billy Mitchell's scores as well as ban him from participating in our competitive leaderboards. So listen, in case you don't know, Billy Mitchell pretty much has like a career from this. He gets paid to make appearances all over the place. He goes to arcade. He's like a celebrity when it comes to old arcade machines. I'm not even exaggerating, guys. I'm dead serious. A celebrity. We have notified Guinness World Records of our decision because Billy was in the Guinness World Records for a time period. So on 8/28 of 2017, Twin Galaxies member Jeremy Young filed a dispute claim assertion against the validity of Billy Mitchell's historical and current original arcade Donkey Kong score performances of 1,047,200. The King of Kong tape. Now, if you've watched King of Kong, that tape is the tape that when Steve Wiebe got the high score, an old lady, you know, brings this tape into the performance. If you haven't seen King of Kong, go watch it. It's a movie, like a theatrical release movie, and it's really good. And it'll catch you up on all this. It's worth it. I don't ever recommend things to you guys unless they're good. You admit it to me. The 1,050,200, the mortgage broker's score, I guess that must have been a specific place, and the 1,062,800, the boomer's score, that is a place. On the technical basis of demonstrated impossibility of original unmodified Donkey Kong arcade hardware to produce specific board transition images shown in the videotaped recording of those educated performances. Now, I've said this in past videos, just in case you haven't seen those videos. There is ways to tell when a PC is running an emulated arcade cabinet compared to the arcade cabinet itself. There are little artifacts that'll come up in the video game. And they're hard to tell because they only happen for a couple frames or even a single frame. But people basically care enough about this. We're talking thousands, hundreds of thousands of people care enough about this to sit down and recreate the way Billy Mitchell did it back then to test whether or not he's telling the truth. And I'm going to tell you right now, the majority of them were trying to prove that he could do it. They wanted to validate Billy. Jeremy's assertion concluded that not only can original Donkey Kong hardware not produce the board transition images shown in the recordings, but that these transitions were actually generated through the use of MAME emulation software. And to interject again, MAME will let you push a button at the beginning of every level and run through the level. And if you don't like what happened, you can literally push another button and it will start you back at the beginning of the level. And you can do it all over again and get, like, you know, a better score for that one level. If you die, you can restart. And, you know, it takes live and skill out of it. And here's the catch. When that happens, the recording will only show it as a solid playthrough. And it's not made to dupe people. It's made so that people, when they're trying to set these world records, can analyze what they did and see if you know, what they can do to make them better. That's what makes people able to get these scores for real so talented. They literally have to memorize and watch and find patterns that are almost impossible for a regular person to memorize and complete. They truly are athletes in the mental form, I suppose. But let's keep going. The rules for submitting scores for the original Donkey Kong competitive leaderboards requires the use of original arcade hardware only. The use of MAME or any other emulation software for submission to these leaderboards is forbidden, and they have their own leaderboard for MAME. So you can do it with MAME, but they got their own leaderboard. Jeremy Young provided his dispute case evidence to dispute thread for both public and Twin Galaxies scrutiny and review. Twin Galaxies has meticulously tested and investigated the dispute case assertions, as well as a number of relevant contingent factors, such as the veracity of the actual video performances that the dispute claim assertions rely upon. I'm going to skip through. We know much of this. Let's go to their specific findings. You can hear exactly how Billy cheated. The taped Donkey Kong score performances of 1,047,000, the King of Kong tape, the mortgage broker score, that were historically used by Twin Galaxies to substantiate those scores and place them in the database, were not produced by the direct feed output of an original unmodified Donkey Kong arcade PCB. The Boomer's score Donkey Kong performance does not have enough of a body of direct evidence for Twin Galaxies to feel comfortable to make a definitive determination at this time. And the 1047 and 1050, I guess that's million, I'm sorry, performance videos we have in our possession and are basing our determinations on are in fact the performances that were used by Twin Galaxies administration as justification for those scores to be entered into the database and for Twin Galaxies to attribute those specific accomplishments to Billy Mitchell. We have several different and unique sources of these performances and can access to private historical Twin Galaxies referee email distribution records showing where these sources acquired their copies and what the purpose was. Of significant note is that it is very straightforward for anyone to check the authenticity of the 1047 performance source tape by just cross-referencing the digital capture video of the performance that has been posted in this dispute thread with the very public King of Kong movie gameplay footage along with its DVD extras. While we know for certain that the unmodified original DK arcade PCB did not output the display seen in the videotape score performances, we cannot definitively conclude that what is on the tapes is MAME. To definitively conclude that MAME was used, Twin Galaxies would need to comprehensively rule out the possibility of all other methods that could produce what is seen on the tapes. This would mean testing all other emulators other than MAME's across all platforms to eliminate the possibility that a different EMU was used. It would also mean testing visual effects software and anything else we can think of to be definitively certain. This kind of testing is beyond the scope of the dispute case needs. From a Twin Galaxies viewpoint, the only important thing to know is whether or not the score performances are from an unmodified original DK arcade PCB as per the rules. We now believe that they are not from an original unmodified DK arcade PCB, and so our investigation of the tape content ends that conclusion and assertion. Twin Galaxies has endeavored to provide a fair opportunity, blah blah blah. Twin Galaxies also investigated the matter comprehensively, got it. Billy Mitchell, okay, here we go. Throughout every step of the investigation, Billy had the opportunity to answer questions and contribute to the public dispute thread. However, he was under no obligation to participate in this dispute thread, and such he chose not to do so. Twin Galaxies is looking at the dispute claim assertions about score performances and either validating or refuting. Okay, come on, guys. I want to hear why you threw this stuff out. Just as in with other disputes, we definitely know the many in the gaming community operate with a general urgency and would have preferred to see this matter resolved swiftly. With this ruling, here we go. Twin Galaxies can no longer recognize Billy Mitchell as the first million-point Donkey Kong record holder. According to our findings, Steve Wiebe, oh my god, Steve Wiebe would be the official first million-point record holder. That is... oh man, it's a double-edged knife, because when you watch King of Kong, you really want Wiebe to win, right? Because I was about to say they make what's his name? They make Billy look bad, but nah, they don't. As much as everyone wants us to believe they make Billy look bad, it's Billy, but he's just a dude, and that's just his personality. That's why we all like the guy. Admit it, right? All I care about is whether Billy could really do this. Now, I know some people have said that Billy has done live scores that were very, very high. So, you know, what happened here? Was he just scared that Wiebe may take his spot? Did he think he would lose all that extra money and all those deals and Steve Wiebe would take over? I don't know what went through his head. All I know is that the evidence to show, you know, that that Billy cheated is just overwhelming. And I know we were all sitting here like, man, they're going to come back. They're going to show us exactly what happened with Billy. Maybe there's a cord that does this. Maybe something else, you know, factored in can make this happen. But for them to remove all the scores from Billy, for God's sakes, man, they must have something really big. But then again, just think about it. Do you think that Twin Galaxies is just trying to save face? Because with this blowing up on YouTube like it has, and so many people being interested, I mean, Apollo Legend has millions of views over this. Do you think maybe they're trying to save face, and this could just be them rushing, even though I know it took a while, trying to get this decision out so that people will take them seriously? Because the majority of every comment thread says we need somewhere else to send the high scores. Twin Galaxies just won't cut it anymore. Either way, it doesn't matter. Leave what you think down below in the comments. Of course, I'm making this video for all my subscribers. I love you guys. Thanks for the support. Thanks for coming to the live gaming streams. It really does support us when you come to them. We do it every night. We play a variety of different games, all competitive, all take a lot of skill. Some I would say are the hardest games ever made. I mean it. They really are. It's mind-boggling how much it pisses me off when I play those games. I'm going to leave you on this, though. Thank you, guys. I'll see you really soon. I'm going to be going live later after I finish another video. Appreciate you.